Terran adjusted his suit as the spaceship descended toward the alien planet. The stars outside glowed like scattered diamonds, but his mind was on the mission ahead. He was a human soldier sent to this distant world as part of a diplomatic team. The planet, known as Varelia, was ruled by an advanced alien civilization. Humans and Virelians had met only a few times, and not all encounters had been peaceful. The briefing had been clear: observe, assist if needed, and establish trust. Terran was chosen for his adaptability and calm under pressure. Still, he felt a flutter of nervousness. He had never met the ruler of this planet, let alone her daughter, the Princess Mira. The ship touched down softly on the landing platform, which shimmered under the alien sun. Virelians, tall and elegant, with luminous eyes and intricate patterns across their skin, moved gracefully around the platform. They observed Terran with curiosity and caution. A Virelian officer approached. "Welcome, human," she said, her voice melodic. "I am Siren, aide to Princess Mira. Follow me." Terran nodded, offering a polite smile. "Thank you. I look forward to meeting her." They moved through wide corridors filled with light and holographic displays. The architecture was breathtaking, blending organic curves with sharp crystalline structures. Terran couldn't help but marvel at the beauty, despite the alien appearance. There was an order and calmness to everything at the palace. Princess Mira waited. She was unlike anyone Terran had ever seen. Her eyes were deep and thoughtful, reflecting intelligence and caution. She did not immediately smile or speak, simply studying him with quiet curiosity. Terran bowed slightly. "Princess Mira, it's an honor to meet you." Mira inclined her head. "Human, you are far from your home world. Why do you come here?" Her voice carried both authority and a subtle curiosity. "I'm here to help," Terran replied. "To observe and assist if I can. I hope to earn your trust." Mira's gaze softened just a fraction. "Trust is earned, human. Many on this planet are wary of your kind. Let us see if you are worthy." For a moment, there was silence, the kind that felt heavy yet respectful. Terran understood. He was not just a guest, he was being tested. Their first challenge came sooner than expected. While walking through the central courtyard, alarms rang out across the palace. Holographic displays flickered, showing a minor security breach in one of the outer gates. Mira's expression tightened. "Terran, can you assist?" she asked. He nodded. "Show me." They arrived at the gate, where a small group of rogue robots had malfunctioned, threatening to damage important facilities. Terran quickly assessed the situation. Using a combination of human ingenuity and his training, he created a temporary barrier while Mira coordinated the palace security. The robots were subdued, and the threat was neutralized within minutes. Mira looked at Terran with new respect. "You act quickly. That is rare among humans." Terran chuckled lightly. "I've learned that thinking on your feet can save lives. Sometimes rules need flexibility." Mira's lips curved in the smallest of smiles. "Perhaps there is hope for your kind after all." Over the next few hours, Terran was shown around the palace. He saw the library filled with knowledge from across the galaxy, gardens with plants that glowed softly under the alien sun, and laboratories where Virelians studied everything from quantum energy to interstellar communication. While observing, Terran noticed Mira watching him carefully, as if she wanted to understand him beyond his actions. He realized she was testing not only his skill but his character. During a quiet moment, Mira asked, "Human, what makes your kind strong?" Terran paused, thinking. "I think it's hope. We have the ability to face danger and keep moving forward even when the odds are against us. We care about protecting others, not just ourselves. That gives us strength." Mira considered this. Strength. Yes, I have seen many rulers, warriors, and scholars. Few show this balance of courage and care. Perhaps humans are not as simple as some believe. As the day ended, Terran was assigned a room in the palace. The walls glimmered with soft light, and the air was fragrant with alien flowers. Yet he felt more restless than ever. Meeting Mira had been unlike anything he expected. She was intelligent, commanding, yet unexpectedly warm at times. There was a curiosity in her eyes, a spark that made him wonder what she was truly thinking. That night, Taryn looked out at the alien sky, the moons casting silvery reflections across the city. He thought about his mission and the potential dangers. Yet he also thought about the princess, her confidence, her wisdom, her strength. Humans could build bridges across worlds, and perhaps he was part of one now. Meanwhile, Mira stood in her private chamber, watching the stars. Her mind wandered back to the human soldier. There was something different about him. He was not arrogant, nor easily intimidated. He had courage and calmness, but more importantly, he seemed genuine. Could this human, so far from his home, truly be someone she could trust? As sleep came, both Taryn and Mira felt a subtle connection forming, one that neither fully understood. But both sensed this mission would not just be about diplomacy or safety. It might become something much greater. Outside the planet of Varelia settled into quiet, but a journey had begun, one that would test courage, trust, and the unexpected ways humans could shine in a galaxy of wonders. The next morning, Taryn awoke to a soft glow filtering through his room. Outside, the palace gardens were bathed in alien sunlight, and the air smelled faintly sweet, like blossoms he had never seen. Today, he was to accompany Princess Mira on a tour of the city. The royal council had arranged for him to witness how Varelia's citizens lived. As part of building trust between humans and the alien people, Mira awaited him in the courtyard, her expression calm but watchful. "You are punctual," she said, her tone almost teasing. "I try my best," Taryn replied, smiling. "Being late can sometimes cost more than time." Mira nodded slightly and motioned for him to follow. Together, they walked through streets lined with shimmering crystal structures. Citizens paused to look at Taryn, some curious, others cautious. Many whispered to each other, noticing how the human soldier walked with respect and confidence. As they reached the market square, Mira pointed out the unique alien technology, levitating carts, glowing fruits, and instruments that sang with the wind. Taryn's eyes widened. "This is incredible. Everything seems alive here, yet so carefully organized." Mira tilted her head. "You notice details humans often miss. That may be why you were chosen for this mission." Their conversation was interrupted by a sudden commotion. A large mechanical transport had malfunctioned, scattering supplies into the square. The crowd panicked, unsure how to move the heavy machinery safely. Taryn stepped forward without hesitation. "Stand back," he called, as he quickly examined the transport. Using his human training and quick thinking, he stabilized the machine with temporary supports, keeping it from toppling. Onto the citizens, Mira acted swiftly too, directing helpers to move people out of harm's way. Within minutes, the danger passed, and the crowd erupted in relieved applause. Mira glanced at Taryn, a faint smile on her lips. "Your actions are remarkable. Humans can be unexpectedly clever in moments like these." Taryn shrugged modestly. "I just try to think ahead. Sometimes the solution is simpler than it looks." The rest of the day was quieter. Mira guided Taryn through gardens, libraries, and workshops, explaining the planet's history and the responsibilities of her position. Taryn listened closely, impressed not only by her knowledge but also by her dedication to her people. She wasn't just a princess. She was a leader preparing for challenges far beyond her years. During a pause in the gardens, Mira asked, "Taryn, do humans usually work so closely with others they barely know?" "In my experience," he replied thoughtfully, "humans can adapt quickly. We value trust, but we build it carefully. Sometimes we surprise each other by rising to challenges we never expected." Mira considered this. "Perhaps that is why I feel some curiosity about your kind. You seem different from the humans we have met before." Taryn smiled, sensing a rare moment of openness. "I hope it is a good curiosity, not suspicion." Mira's gaze softened. "Good, for now." As the afternoon passed, they reached a small lake in the palace gardens. The water shimmered with a strange glow, reflecting the twin moons above. Mira pointed to floating plants that swayed with no visible current. "These plants respond to life energy," she explained. "They are delicate, yet resilient, a reminder that even small beings can have great influence." Taryn nodded. That's true of humans too. Small actions can change outcomes. Sometimes courage or cleverness can make the difference in moments of crisis. For the first time, Mira laughed, softly, a sound like wind chimes. You speak boldly for one who is still a guest, yet you may have a point. Their quiet moment was interrupted by a message from the Royal Council. A nearby village had reported minor disturbances and unusual energy fluctuations that threatened crops and buildings. Mira looked at Taryn. I must inspect this personally. Will you come with me? Taryn nodded immediately. Of course. Let's see what we can do. They traveled to the village, and what they found was puzzling. Strange energy pulses radiating from the ground, causing minor tremors and damaging the crops. Local scientists had attempted containment, but the problem was beyond their knowledge. Tren examined the devices and sensors they had set up. If I adjust the frequency slightly, I can stabilize the energy temporarily, he said. Using his human ingenuity and experience with technology, he quickly recalibrated the equipment. Within minutes, the pulses weakened, and the village was safe. The villagers stared in awe at the human soldier who had saved them. Mira watched him too, her respect growing. You're kind. You think differently. That is valuable. Taryn shook his head. I just used what I know. I suppose it helps that I don't see the impossible as final. Problems can always be approached from a new angle. Mira smiled faintly. Perhaps humans have a kind of hope that my people sometimes lack. I wonder if that is why I find you intriguing. As night fell, they returned to the palace. Mira invited Taryn to share a simple meal in her private quarters. Over food, they spoke freely about their worlds, cultures, and responsibilities. Taryn shared stories of Earth's struggles and triumphs while Mira described Virelia's history and her hopes for its future. By the end of the meal, a quiet understanding had formed between them. Trust had begun to grow, delicate but strong. Mira realized that Taryn's presence was not merely tolerated, he could become a true ally, someone she could rely on in unexpected ways. Tren, in turn, found himself fascinated by Mira not just as a leader, but as a person of strength and insight. He understood the delicate balance she maintained between duty and personal feeling, and he admired her quietly for it. That night, as Taryn settled into his quarters, he reflected on the day. Trust was not given lightly on Virelia, yet he felt that he had taken a first step towards something meaningful. And Mira, standing in her chamber and gazing at the stars, wondered what the future might hold with a human by her side, a human who could rise to challenges in ways her people could not have imagined, though neither fully understood it yet. A bond had begun to form, a bond that might change the course of both their lives and the fate of their worlds. The palace was alive with excitement. Today marked the beginning of Virelia's Grand Light Festival, a celebration that occurred only once every decade. Streets were decorated with floating lanterns, glowing ribbons, and intricate sculptures that shimmered in the twin suns' light. Citizens moved through the city in colorful attire, and music filled the air, a blend of delicate chimes and resonating tones that made the heart feel light. Princess Mira approached Taryn, her eyes bright with a mix of pride and curiosity. I want you to see this festival, Taryn. It is one of our most cherished traditions. Taryn followed closely, taking in the sights. It's amazing, he said. The colors, the energy, everything feels alive. Mira smiled faintly. It is a celebration of life and unity. Even the smallest citizen contributes to the light that surrounds us. As they walked, Taryn noticed how people reacted to him. At first, some stared, unsure of the human presence, but most gradually began to smile or nod in acknowledgement. His calm demeanor and genuine interest in the festival seemed to ease the initial tension. They stopped at a pavilion where artisans demonstrated levitating sculptures and light-infused paintings. Mira watched Taryn's reactions carefully. You notice things humans often miss, she said. Your attention to detail. It is unusual and useful. Taryn chuckled. I like to understand things fully. Sometimes it helps in unexpected situations. Mira's smile deepened. Indeed, I see that now. Suddenly, a loud rumble echoed through the plaza. One of the larger floating lantern displays had begun to wobble, threatening to fall onto the crowd. Panic spread quickly, children screamed, and adults scrambled to safety. Terran's instincts kicked in immediately. "Step back," he shouted, scanning the area. Without hesitation, he ran toward the display, using ropes and supports from nearby stalls. He anchored the lantern securely. A few citizens helped, guided by his calm authority. Within moments, the danger was averted. Mira had been watching the crowd's reaction. When the chaos settled, she approached Terran. "You act without hesitation. Your courage, it is rare, even among my people." Terran shook his head modestly. "I just do what seems right. Fear is natural, but action can prevent harm." Mira's gaze softened. "Perhaps humans are not as simple as my people believed. You think differently. That is valuable." After the commotion, the festival resumed, brighter and more joyful than before. Mira and Terran moved through the city, tasting glowing fruits, listening to musicians, and observing dancers who move with effortless grace. Terran tried to mimic a few dance steps, stumbling slightly, and Mira laughed to sound like delicate chimes in the evening air. "You are clumsy," she teased lightly, "but you try, and that matters." Terran grinned. "I prefer solving problems to dancing, but I can appreciate the effort." As night fell, the twin moons rose, casting silver light across the city. Mira led Terran to the central plaza, where a massive lantern in the shape of a star floated above them, radiating a soft glow. Citizens gathered around, holding smaller lanterns, ready to release them into the sky. Mira whispered, "This is the moment when we honor hope. Every light represents a dream, a promise, a life." Terran looked around, feeling a sense of unity he had rarely experienced. Humans often celebrated festivals, but this was different. Every individual contributed, yet the outcome belonged to all. He turned to Mira. "It's beautiful. You've created something that connects everyone here." Mira's eyes softened. "It is more than beauty. It is trust, cooperation, and courage, just like your actions today, together." They released their lanterns. Terrans floated smoothly into the sky, glowing warmly against the darkening backdrop. Mira's lantern followed, its light merging with his. For a moment, they stood side by side, watching the lights ascend, a silent bond forming between them. But the festival's peace was not complete. A sudden tremor shook the plaza, and one of the bridges above the crowd started to tilt dangerously. Citizens gasped, unsure how to respond. Terran sprang into action. "Everyone, move back, stay calm." Mira joined him, directing citizens away from the danger. Using his knowledge of structures and quick thinking, Terran stabilized the bridge temporarily until palace engineers could secure it. The crowd watched in awe at the human, who acted without hesitation. When the danger passed, Mira placed a hand on Terran's shoulder. "You are not just brave, you are wise. Humans can contribute more than we expected. You inspire trust, even in moments of fear." Terran looked at her, meeting her gaze. "I only do what I can. I care about people, not just the mission." Mira studied him for a moment, realizing how rare it was to find someone so genuinely concerned for others. "Perhaps there is more to you than I first thought," she said softly. The festival continued into the night, filled with laughter, music, and glowing lights. Mira and Terran walked through the city, sharing stories, observing citizens, and enjoying small moments together. With every step, their trust and understanding grew. By the end of the night, Mira felt a quiet admiration for Terran. He had proven himself not only capable in danger, but also kind, clever, and thoughtful. She realized that this human might become more than just a guest. He could become a true ally. Terran, in turn, found himself drawn to Mira's intelligence, calm strength, and sense of responsibility. She was unlike anyone he had met, and he respected her deeply. In a galaxy full of unknowns, he had found someone whose presence mattered. As they returned to the palace, the glow from the lanterns still illuminated the streets, reflecting in their eyes. The festival had tested courage, revealed character, and sparked a bond neither of them had expected. That night, both Terran and Mira lay awake, thinking about the day, A seed of trust and admiration had been planted. They did not yet know where it would grow, but both sensed that something extraordinary was beginning, a partnership that could bridge worlds. Outside, Verelia's city rested beneath the moons, the festival lights fading but leaving a lingering glow of hope, courage, and unity. And in that glow, Terran and Mira each realized that the galaxy was larger, stranger, and more connected than they had ever imagined. The morning after the festival, the palace was unusually quiet. The twin suns shone softly across the crystalline towers, casting long reflections on the polished floors. Terran walked through the corridors, still thinking about the events of the previous night. The festival had been more than a celebration. It had revealed courage, unity, and something deeper he couldn't yet name. He was summoned to Mira's private study. When he entered, she was already there, standing by a large window that overlooked the city. The glow of the morning sunlight highlighted her thoughtful expression. "Good morning, Terran," she said, turning to him. "I have asked you here because I want to speak openly. Are you willing?" "Of course," Terran replied. "I will answer honestly." Mira motioned for him to sit. "You have proven yourself capable in ways that surprise not only me but also my people. You act with courage, intelligence, and care. Yet there is something more I wish to understand about you and why you are here." Terran nodded, feeling the weight of her words. "I came to help, Princess. I want to show that humans can be trusted, that we can contribute to more than just our own worlds. I also want to do what is right. I cannot control everything, but I can try to make a difference where I can." Mira studied him carefully. "Your words are sincere. I can see that you do not act for recognition or for glory. That is rare. Most beings, even my own people, seek attention or power. You do not." Terran felt a quiet warmth at her words. "I just believe that courage and action matter more than words. If I can help, I will." For a moment, Mira was silent. She walked slowly round the room, her eyes distant. "It is strange," she murmured. "I have lived my life preparing to lead, to serve my people. I have met countless allies and envoys. Few have earned my trust fully. Yet you make me feel that trust is possible, even across worlds." Terran looked at her, unsure how to respond. "I respect you, Princess. You carry so much responsibility and wisdom. It inspires me. I am only trying to do my part." Mira smiled faintly, but her eyes held something deeper, a mixture of admiration, caution, and a quiet vulnerability. "Terran, I do not say this lightly, but I feel that you are different from any human or alien I have met. You are not only capable in moments of danger, but you also carry a sense of hope that is rare. It comforts me." Terran's heart beat faster, but he remained composed. "I did not expect to comfort anyone. I only tried to do what is right." Mira stepped closer, her expression serious yet gentle. "Sometimes, the right thing is not just action, it is also connection. You have shown me that humans can think and act in ways my people cannot. That is why I wanted you here, away from the public eye. I need to know if I can truly rely on you." Terran nodded. "You can. I will not fail you or your people. You have my word." For the first time, Mira allowed herself to relax slightly. She smiled more openly. "I believe you, Terran. I truly do." They sat in silence for a few moments, watching the city below. The air was warm, carrying the soft fragrance of glowing flowers from the palace gardens. Terran realized that this moment, quiet and unguarded, was rare. Mira, usually so composed and cautious, was showing a part of herself that few had seen. "I have a question for you," Mira said softly, turning to face him. "Why do you stay? You could leave, return to your world at any moment, yet you remain here willingly." Terran thought for a moment. "Because I believe in what we are building here. I believe humans can make a difference. And because I respect you, Princess. I want to be here when challenges arise, not just as a soldier, but as someone you can rely on." Mira's eyes held a quiet intensity. "You surprise me, Terran. Few have spoken with such honesty and care. It is comforting, perhaps even inspiring." The sincerity in his voice and the steadiness of his gaze left Mira thoughtful. for the first time. She considered that humans might offer more than strength or strategy. They might bring perspective, hope, and a connection that transcended worlds. "Thank you," she said finally, "not just for what you do, but for who you are. I do not say this lightly, but I feel that I can trust you with more than I have trusted anyone before." Terran felt a surge of responsibility. "I will not betray that trust, Princess. You have my word. I will do everything I can to protect you and your people." Mira studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "Good. That is all I need to hear for now." The conversation left them both contemplative. Terran realized that trust was not easily given, and Mira realized that the human before her might be more than an ally, perhaps even a friend, in a way she had not expected to find out later that day. They were called to address another minor crisis. In the city, a failing energy conduit that threatened to disrupt communication between the palace and outlying villages. Terran worked alongside Virelian engineers, demonstrating human problem-solving techniques. Within hours, the conduit was repaired, earning him further respect from the council. Mira watched him, admiration clear in her eyes. "Your presence changes the way my people view humans. That is more valuable than you may realize." Terran smiled quietly. "I am glad if I can help. That is all I aim to do." As the day ended, Mira invited Terran to walk with her through the palace gardens. The soft glow of the alien flora bathed them in gentle light. The trust between them had grown, subtle yet undeniable. "You are different from others I have known," Mira said softly, breaking the comfortable silence. "I see strength in you, but also care. That combination is rare." Terran glanced at her. "I believe that is what makes humans capable. We can be brave and thoughtful at the same time. It is not always easy, but we try." Mira smiled faintly. "I hope that this bond we are building continues to grow, not just for the sake of the mission, but because I believe it is worthwhile." Terran felt a quiet warmth in his chest. "I agree, Princess. It is worthwhile. I will do everything I can to honor this trust." As night fell, they parted ways, each retreating to their chambers. Both lay awake, reflecting on the day and the conversation they had shared. Trust had deepened, and something unspoken lingered between them, recognition of respect, admiration, and the possibility of a connection that could become extraordinary. Outside, Virelia glowed under the twin moons. A bond had formed between human and princess, delicate yet strong. Neither fully understood where it would lead, but both sensed that the journey ahead would be remarkable, filled with challenges, discoveries, and the potential to change the course of their worlds. And somewhere in the quiet of the palace, hope began to grow, a hope that humans and Virelians could not only coexist, but inspire each other in ways no one had imagined. The morning sunlight streamed into the palace chambers, casting long reflections across the crystal floors. Princess Mira moved with quiet determination. Her thoughts focused on matters, both personal and political. She had spent days contemplating something that now could no longer remain hidden. Today, she would share the news with Taren. Taren, meanwhile, was in the training courtyard, observing the routines of palace guards and engineers. He had grown accustomed to the rhythm of life on Virelia, yet his mind often wandered to Mira. Her intelligence, grace, and courage had impressed him since their first meeting. But there was more to her presence, an unspoken connection that neither could fully explain. Mira approached him with a soft, purposeful step. "Terran," she said, her voice calm but serious. "May we speak in private?" Terran nodded, sensing the importance of her tone. "Of course, Princess, wherever you wish." She led him to a quiet garden pavilion. Far from the bustle of the palace, the air smelled of glowing blossoms, and the gentle hum of the city below was faint. Mira stood for a moment, looking at the floating plants around them, as if drawing courage from their resilience. "I have something to tell you," she said finally, turning to face him. "It is important, and it will affect both of our worlds in ways we cannot yet see." Terran listened carefully, his expression attentive. "Whatever it is, Princess, I will support you. You can count on me." Mira took a deep breath. "Terran, I am expecting a child, and it is yours Taryn froze, processing her words. The pavilion seemed to hold its breath, the air thick with unspoken emotion. He had never imagined such a revelation, yet his reaction was steady. He saw the courage in Mira's eyes, the trust she placed in him by sharing this secret. He stepped closer, his voice calm. Mira, I am honored, and I promise I will be here for you. We will face this together. No matter the challenges. Mira's eyes shimmered with a mixture of relief and gratitude. I was unsure how you would respond. Many would react with fear, doubt, or hesitation. But you are steady. That is why I trust you. Taryn reached out, offering a supportive hand. You do not have to face anything alone. We will find a way to protect you and the child, and to ensure that both our peoples understand. I will not abandon this responsibility. Mira smiled faintly, a weight lifting from her shoulders. Thank you, Taryn, your calmness and loyalty give me courage. I was worried about the council's reaction, the citizens' reaction. Everything. Taryn shook his head. We will handle it together. Trust and action can overcome doubt. You have already seen how humans can rise to challenges in unexpected ways. We will do the same now. The day passed with both of them in quiet discussion, planning how to navigate the political and social implications. Mira explained the customs and concerns of her council, while Taryn shared ideas from his experience, finding solutions that balanced respect, protection, and practicality. By evening, Mira had begun to feel lighter. I did not expect the human presence to feel so steady. Your words, your thoughtfulness, they are rare qualities in any being I have met. Taryn smiled. I only tried to do what is right. That is all anyone can do. Mira's gaze softened. It is more than right. It is strength, courage, and care qualities that will guide us in the days to come. That night, the palace was quiet. Taryn remained in his quarters, but his thoughts were with Mira. He understood the weight of the news she had shared. It was not only personal, it was a bridge between worlds, a symbol of trust, cooperation, and the possibilities that could arise when humans and aliens work together. Mira, in her private chamber, gazed at the stars. She thought about the future, the challenges, and the hope that Taryn's presence had brought into her life. She realized that this child, and the bond it represented, could change perceptions, inspire trust, and unite their peoples in ways no one had imagined. The following days brought both preparation and quiet reflection. Mira attended council meetings, navigating questions and concerns with diplomacy and patience. Taryn supported her quietly, offering guidance, problem-solving ideas, and reassurance. Slowly, even the most skeptical council members began to recognize the value of his presence. His intelligence, calm thinking, and ability to act decisively in unexpected situations. One evening, Mira invited Taryn to walk through the gardens. Again, the twin moons reflected in the water, creating a soft silver glow. Taryn, she said, her voice low, I have thought much about what you said, the human ability to rise to challenges. I see now that it applies not only to battle or work, but to life itself. Your steadiness, it gives me hope. Taryn looked at her with respect. And your courage gives me hope, Mira. You lead with wisdom and care. That inspires me as much as anything I have seen. Mira smiled, the first genuine, unguarded smile in days. Then we are fortunate to have found each other in this vast galaxy. Taryn nodded. Yes, we are. The bond between them had grown stronger, tempered by honesty, courage, and trust. The unexpected news had not caused fear or hesitation. Instead, it had revealed strength in both of them, a readiness to face challenges together. In the quiet of the night, both Taryn and Mira understood something important. This was not just a personal journey. It was the beginning of a story that could unite humans and Virelians, showing that trust, courage, and understanding could overcome even the most complicated challenges. And so, under the twin moons of Virelia, a human and an alien princess stood, together, ready to face whatever the future held with hope, determination, and a bond that. The palace corridors were filled with quiet tension. News of Princess Mira's pregnancy had spread among the council members, and not all were pleased. Whispers echoed through the halls. Some questioned the wisdom of the human-alien bond, others worried about political consequences. Mira knew that facing these challenges required both courage and careful strategy. Terran stayed close, offering support not only as a soldier, but as a friend and advisor. "We can face this together," he said, his voice calm. "You do not have to carry the burden alone." Mira nodded. "I know, Terran, but the Council is cautious. Some fear change, and others fear losing control. We must show them that this can be a positive thing for Varelia." Their first meeting with the Council was tense. The chamber was grand, filled with alien officials seated in rising tiers. Eyes followed Mira and Terran as they entered. Some were skeptical, others curious, but all knew this discussion could alter the future of their planet. Mira spoke first, her voice steady. "I bring news that may surprise some of you. I am expecting a child, and the father is a human. Terran, this is not a matter of personal choice alone. It is a symbol of unity, trust, and cooperation between our worlds." A murmur ran through the council. Some frowned, others whispered to one another. One senior official spoke up, his tone cautious. "Princess, while your intentions may be noble, this is unprecedented. How can we be sure that the human influence will not harm Varelia's future?" Terran stepped forward, his posture confident but respectful. "I understand your concerns. I am not here to take power or control. My goal is to protect, to assist, and to ensure that this child and both our peoples thrive. I have proven my ability to act in unexpected situations, and I am willing to demonstrate my commitment further." Mira watched the council's reactions carefully. Some members' eyes softened slightly, intrigued by Terran's calmness and confidence. Others remained skeptical, unconvinced by words alone. TA or EN continued, "We face challenges together, whether human or Varelian. Trust, action, and collaboration can overcome doubt. I am prepared to work with your people, to respect your laws, and to ensure a safe, prosperous future for all." The council fell silent. Mira could see that Terran's words carried weight not only because of his honesty, but also because of his proven record. He had already saved the city from danger, assisted with energy crises, and shown calm leadership during the festival. His actions spoke louder than any argument could. One council member finally nodded. Perhaps we have judged too quickly. This human has demonstrated courage and wisdom. If he is truly committed, we may find that this union benefits Varelia rather than threatens it." Slowly, other council members began to agree. Mira felt a surge of relief. Terran had earned respect not only through words, but through his actions, a clear example of why humans could be trusted and valued in the galaxy. After the meeting, Mira and Terran walked through the palace gardens, reflecting on the outcome. "You handled that well," Mira said, a small smile on her lips. "Your words and calm demeanor, they changed opinions faster than any argument I could have made alone." Terran shrugged modestly. "I only spoke what I felt. Your trust gave me the courage to speak. Without you, I could not have acted as effectively." Mira looked at him thoughtfully. "You are right. We are stronger together. That is a lesson my people must learn, and perhaps a lesson I must accept personally." Their quiet conversation was interrupted by an urgent message from one of the outlying villages. A severe storm had damaged communication lines, threatening supplies and creating confusion among citizens. Mira and Terran wasted no time. Arriving at the village, they saw the destruction caused by the storm, torn structures, scattered supplies, and frightened villagers. Terran quickly assessed the situation. "We need to stabilize the communication lines first. Then we can organize supplies and repairs." Working alongside Varelian engineers and villagers, Terran demonstrated simple, yet effective human problem-solving techniques. He improvised tools, created temporary connections, and organized teams efficiently. Within hours, communication was restored, and basic repairs were underway. Mira watched him, admiration growing. "Your ingenuity, it is impressive. Even my most skilled engineers would not have thought of these solutions so quickly." Terran smiled. "Sometimes it just takes a fresh perspective. humans are used to adapting to unexpected situations. The villagers expressed gratitude, their fear replaced by relief. Mira realized that Terran's presence not only reassured her, but also inspired others. Humans could show courage, cleverness, and compassion in ways that cross cultural boundaries. By the time they returned to the palace, the twin moons shone softly over Varelia. Mira felt a deep sense of trust in Terran, stronger than ever. We have faced challenges today, and we have overcome them. Together, we can handle whatever comes next. Terran nodded. Exactly. Every problem has a solution if we approach it with thought, courage, and cooperation. I will always stand by you, Princess. That night, Mira reflected on the events. The council was beginning to accept the human-alien connection. Villagers were reassured, and their city had weathered another crisis. The partnership between her and Terran was no longer just a matter of trust. It was a demonstration of human ingenuity, loyalty, and the strength of collaboration for Terran. The day reinforced his belief in human potential. Even in a distant galaxy, humans could earn respect, solve problems creatively, and inspire hope. Mira's trust and the Council's recognition were rewards. But the greater achievement was showing that humans and aliens could work together for a better future. As he looked up at the glowing moons, Terran felt a quiet determination. Challenges would continue to rise, but with Mira and the people of Varelia, he knew that humanity could shine brightly, even in worlds far from Earth. Mira, in her chambers, gazed at the stars, feeling hope and confidence for the first time in weeks. She understood that the child she carried was more than a personal bond. It was a symbol of unity, trust, and the extraordinary potential that humans and Virelians could achieve together. And so, under the serene glow of Varelia's twin moons, both human and princess prepared for the future, ready to face challenges with courage, intelligence, and a partnership that promised to inspire generations to come. The first light of Varelia's twin sun spilled across the palace towers, casting a golden glow over the city. The palace had settled into a calm rhythm. But for Princess Mira and Terran, the future was still full of questions, challenges, and possibilities. Today felt different, full of promise, yet grounded in the trust they had built. Mira found Terran in the training courtyard, observing young cadets practicing defensive techniques. "Good morning," she said softly. "Good morning, Princess," Terran replied, smiling. "I see you're up early." Mira nodded. "I have much to consider today. Our city, the council, the preparations for the child. It is a lot, but I feel hopeful." Terran looked at her with steady reassurance. "And you should be. We have faced challenges before, and we have overcome them. Today will be no different. We are stronger together." The morning passed with planning and strategy. Mira consulted the council about the upcoming months, ensuring that supplies, medical support, and education were prepared for the child's arrival. Terran provided insight from human systems, suggesting methods to improve efficiency, organization, and safety. His ideas were practical, clear, and surprisingly simple. Yet they impressed the council. One council member, who had once been skeptical, leaned forward. "Your ideas, they are effective. Humans think differently, yet clearly. They can be valuable to Varelia. Perhaps we have underestimated them." Mira smiled faintly. "Terran has shown us that courage, intelligence, and care can bridge worlds. That is why I trust him and why I hope you will, too." Terran nodded respectfully. "I am here to help, not to replace anyone, but I will act wherever I am needed, for Mira, for Varelia, and for the future we can build together." By afternoon, Mira and Terran decided to visit one of the city's new community centers, recently built to provide education and resources for both human and Varelian citizens. Their goal was to strengthen trust and show the city that cooperation could create lasting benefits. Children ran through the halls, curious and excited, while teachers demonstrated lessons in technology, language, and problem-solving. Terran paused to help a small group understand the principles of basic energy manipulation, a subject unfamiliar to them, but fascinating to watch. Mira observed, pride in her eyes. "You have a way of connecting with people Terran. They listen to you, not out of fear, but respect. That is rare. Terran smiled. I just try to explain things simply and clearly. People respond when they understand. It's the same everywhere, whether human or alien. As the day continued, Mira and Terran walked through the city together. Citizens smiled and waved, showing respect and trust. Even the most skeptical now acknowledged the human who had saved the city, solved crises, and worked tirelessly to build bridges between worlds. Evening came, and Mira led Terran to the palace gardens once more. The soft glow of alien flora reflected on their faces, creating a serene atmosphere. Mira spoke quietly. Terran, these past weeks have been extraordinary. I was unsure of what the future might hold, but now I feel ready to face it. With you, Terran took her hand gently. I will always be here, Mira. Whatever challenges arise, we will meet them together. Your courage inspires me as much as you say mine inspires you. Mira's eyes glistened. It is more than inspiration. You have shown me that humans can offer wisdom, patience, and strength. That is why I trust you with what comes next. Terran nodded solemnly. Then we will move forward together. Nothing will shake our determination. The palace bells chimed, signaling the start of a ceremony to celebrate the unity between humans and Virilians. Citizens gathered in the central plaza, lanterns floating in preparation for the evening display. Mira and Terran led the procession, symbolizing not only leadership but also trust, cooperation, and hope for the future. As the lanterns rose into the sky, their glow reflected in the eyes of every citizen. Mira turned to Terran. This child, our child, will grow in a world where trust and courage can unite people. That is a legacy worth building. Terran smiled, looking up at the floating lights. And they will inherit not only our worlds, but the lessons we have learned together. Hope, courage, and understanding can change everything. The twin moons rose above the city, casting silver light over the celebration. Mira and Terran stood side by side, feeling the weight of responsibility, yet also the joy of possibility. Their journey had been filled with challenges, uncertainty, and unexpected turns, but together, they had proven that courage, intelligence, and trust could overcome any obstacle. In the quiet of the night, Mira whispered, I believe we can face anything, Terran, and I believe our child will be a symbol of hope, a bridge between worlds. Terran nodded. Yes, together, we can make the galaxy see that humans and Virilians are capable of great things when they work as one. As the festival lights twinkled and citizens celebrated, a new chapter began for Virelia, for humanity, and for the bond between two beings from different worlds. Terran and Mira stood united, ready to guide their people, nurture life, and inspire generations to come. The city rested under the glowing moons, peaceful yet full of promise, and in that serenity, Terran and Mira knew that this was only the beginning, a beginning of unity, courage, and hope that could light the path for countless others across the galaxy.